Time for our maths lesson now, and we're going to be continuing with doing measure and looking at maths. But to start with, we're going to be doing our 5 times table. So you can practice by counting in fives with the song first of all, or you can practice the 5 times table song by scrolling along to the 5 times table at about 9 minutes on the video clip. Or if you think you're secure with that now, you know your 5 times table in the order, you can go into Times Table Rockstars and practice your times tables on there. So when you've done that, come back and we'll carry on with the lesson. Okay, here's our objective. We're learning to compare and order mass. Our key vocabulary is mass, weigh, and weight. Remember, your mass is how much matter something is made up of. And then you can weigh or look at the weight of something using scales. So here's an example with some bathroom scales. You might have some of these at home. And later in the week, you're going to be looking at measuring in standard units of grams and kilograms. And that's what you would weigh how heavy people are with in your bathroom. You might have some electronic ones rather than these. These are quite old-fashioned with the dial on the front. Balance scales, so they're the ones that you can measure how heavy something is when they are level, maybe with some cubes or some marbles. There we go. Compare. So if we compare these two items here, we've got 5 blocks and we've got a pair of scissors and the scales have gone like that. So what does that tell us? Which one is heavier? Which one is lighter? Okay. So heavy, heavier and heaviest, that would be the blocks because that's pushed down. Okay. Light, lighter and lightest, that's the scissors because they're up in the air. Heavier than and lighter than. So here we've got a laptop which weighs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 marbles. And we've got a stapler that weighs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that tells us that the laptop is heavier than the stapler and the stapler is lighter than the laptop. But what about if we had more and we put them in order? So here we've got a lunchbox and the lunchbox weighs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the lunchbox is lighter than the laptop, but it is heavier than the stapler. So that's the order that they would go in from the lightest to the heaviest. To put something in order means to arrange items according to a criteria, like I just did. So we might put objects in order from one that weighs the least to the one that weighs the most. Sometimes you might want to go from the one that weighs the most to the one that weighs the least. When we are comparing, we are looking at 2 objects at a time and deciding which one is heavier and which one is lighter. Think about a table and a rubber. Which is heavier? Well, you could pick a rubber up between your thumb and your finger, couldn't you? Could you pick a table up between your thumb and your finger? No, that would be far too heavy. So it's definitely a table. I'm sure you got that right. Okay, so match the object to the correct scale. So we've got A, B, and C. An apple that weighs 4 cubes, a glue stick that weighs 8 cubes, and a ball that weighs 6. So you count the cubes really carefully and tell me which object goes on which scale. Okay, so the apple weighs 4 cubes, so hopefully you can see that the yellow cubes are 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would go there. The glue stick weighs 8 cubes, so hopefully you have counted the green ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, to see that the glue stick goes there. And then the ball weighs 6 cubes, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue cubes there, so the ball would go there. Well done if you got that right. So what order would they go in from the lightest to the heaviest? So it's just ordering numbers. So if you say the names of the objects, okay, rather than the numbers, which one would go first as the lightest? Then which one? And then which one's the heaviest? So hopefully you said apple, ball, glue, because that's in order. The apple is the lightest, then the ball, and then the glue is the heaviest. Okay, choose the word to complete the sentence below. So here we've got an egg and a strawberry. Okay, how many cubes balances the egg? So how many cubes does the egg weigh? How many cubes does the strawberry weigh? Let's have a look. The strawberry is something than the egg. So is the strawberry heavier than the egg or lighter than the egg? What do you think? Let's see. The strawberry weighs 1, 2 cubes, whereas the egg weighs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes. So the strawberry is definitely lighter than the egg. What you need to do, children, is remember to count the blocks carefully. Look at the position of the scales. That comes in really important later. Are they balanced, or is one up higher than the other? And then order from the lightest to the heaviest. Choose the word to complete the sentence below. The carrot is something than the sweet corn. So how many cubes balance the carrot? How many cubes balance the sweet corn? Look carefully at the scales. They're both at balance level. So that makes it easier to be able to work out which one do you think it is. Well, I can see that the carrot is 4 cubes heavy and the sweet corn is 3 cubes heavy. And 4 is bigger than 3, so the carrot is heavier than the sweet corn. Okay, order the objects lightest to heaviest. So it tells you how many cubes the pumpkin weighs, how many the pear weighs, and how many the football boot weighs. So can you put those in order? So you can say the order of the letters, or you can say the order of the items. Okay, I can see that the pumpkin weighs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cubes. The pear weighs 2, 4, 5 cubes, and the football boot weighs 3, 6, 7 cubes. I'll try to count them in groups then. So that tells me that from lightest, the pear is the lightest. So that is B is first, then the football boots, then it's C, and then A. So you should have got B, C, A, or pear, football boot, pumpkin. Okay, either of those. Okay, here's your do it now. So I'll read through them for you, but I'm not going to show you the answers because I'm sure you can work these out for yourself. So choose the word to complete the sentence below. Do remember that, remember too, your success criteria, look at the pictures of the scales because they're not always balanced, okay, and that might affect your answer. So these are balanced, this one isn't. You've got the cubes further down than the cake. So what does that tell you about which one is heavier and which one is lighter? So the apple is it heavier or lighter than the cake? Choose the word to complete the sentence below. Again, you've got one scale that's balanced and you've got one scale like that. What does that mean? Okay, so the rubber is it heavier or is it lighter than the tomato? So look at how many marbles balance the tomato, and this time, how many marbles are heavier or lighter, you have to work it out, than the rubber. And then what does that tell you about whether the rubber is heavier or lighter than the tomato? Order the objects lightest to heaviest. So it tells you how many cubes an apple weighs, how many the glue weighs, how many the bun weighs, and then just like before, it's lightest first to heaviest. You've got to put the letters in order or name the objects and put them in order. Secure it. True or false? The scissors are lighter than the pepper. Again, your scales aren't in the same position, so look carefully at that, okay? So I've given you a sentence stem to start you off. The answer is true or false. Which one? Because how do you know? So look at the scales and explain how you know whether it's true or false. True or false? The pumpkin is lighter than the football boot. So there are more cubes here. I would advise counting them very carefully. Looking at the scales, what position are they in? And then you can use a sentence stem like, if the pumpkin weighs this amount of cubes and the football boot weighs this amount of cubes, then it is it true or false that the pumpkin is lighter than the football boot? See. And here are the sentence stems in case you want to choose a different one. And you can use it to help you explain how you know the answer is what you think it is. And finally, the deepen it. So it says, can you match the clue to the images? Now, I'll just give you one tip for this one. One of these clues could be 2 of the images. However, you can only have one image for each clue. So you might have to read another clue to work out which of those 2 is left over at the end, okay? So the first one says, My object weighs more than the car. So you need to write one of the letters next to that statement. My object is less than 5 cubes. So which letter is that statement? My object is not the heaviest or the lightest. So which letter goes next to that statement? Okay, I think you'll be fine with that. And that's the end of the lesson.